I think agriculture is on the move and we are going to make progress. I can see that the common agricultural policy within the common market is not going to provide us with any utopia, but I think that the prospects will give us a far better potential.
Farmers from all over Ireland demanding a better deal from the government, marching on Dublin to present their case. Many of them from the distant stony fields of the west had been footing it for well over 200 miles.
We put very specific questions to Mr. Blaney, and his answer is a complete stupidity. Well, you see, there's one law for farmers and one law for the industrial worker who is protected by the law when he disrupts the nation's economy.
Would you agree that farmers taking part in today's demonstrations may have stepped outside the law by blocking these roads?
Possibly. There was the sit-down protests, there were negotiations, there was machinery blockades, but farmers were not going to give up. And for the first time, big and small really worked together, and there was nothing pipsqueak about that.
It was the emergence of farmers as a new force, and this all came about as a result of the marching, the commodity strike, etc. This gave farmers a new sense of purpose, a new realization of their collective strength. This raised them up. We're going to be part and parcel of Europe whether we like it or not. And frankly, I believe that Irish farmers have nothing to fear in Europe.
Good evening. Factory prices have been holding just about steady at last week's level. That's 216.1 pence a kilo or 98 pence a pound is the general flat rate. Occasionally some small changes up or down.
Well, in my 20 years experience in organised farming, I have never seen the mood of farmers so angry. We are absolutely opposed to the present proposal of a production tax. We must have the tax on our sales eliminated. We are the only country within the EEC who has this type of productivity tax.
There is a core of farmers in this country who have the courage and the determination and the foresight to develop their farms, to increase livestock numbers, to put up new buildings, to improve their land. Those people, they are the leaders of our industry, and they deserve every farmer's support today. Because if those people go down, agriculture goes down and this country goes down with them.
Will you get militant if you don't get what you want?
We can all work in partnership on this particular issue because the outcome is so catastrophic if we keep on going down that road.
But will you get militant?
Don't put words into my mouth. We will have to assess the situation as it arises. But I wonder what would members of your trade union do if they were reduced 30% in their salary.
For the past 2 weeks, the farm organisations and the meat factories have been locked in battle over the price paid to farmers for cattle. Farmers say they should be getting 110 pence a pound for beef, but they say factories are paying only as low as 103 pence a pound.
The EC Commission have supported the meat factories and taken a large amount of beef off the market.
Nobody is going to steal our cattle and nobody's going to steal our beef.
We are owed £2.5 million and nothing happens here until that £2.5 million is paid.
Farmers owed money by the collapsed meat company UMP are to be paid in full.
The real challenge will be the reform of the Common Agricultural Policy, the implementation of the GATT agreement, which could have very serious implications, not alone for Irish agriculture, but indeed for the overall Irish economy.
6,000 farmers from all over the country protesting about falling incomes outside the Hotel Europe where EU farm ministers were meeting.
There's no way we can be shoved out of the way.
Chaos erupted as a few farmers, followed by 2,000, broke the Garda cordon and raced up the 200-yard avenue. I have an international group inside in this hotel. A lot of them...
Do not underestimate the resolve of IFA. We're going to fight back.
The beef processing industry is now at a standstill after 2 days of the IFA's nationwide blockade. The row was sparked by the £1.80 per animal increase in the veterinary inspection charges at the factories.
The judge's decision is to fine the association £100,000 per day.
The National Council decided to comply with the court order. It's a decision that I can't go along with, and I've tendered my resignation as president of IFA.
Shortly afterwards, the IFA say that a deal was done with the first of the Goodman plants, AIBP Bandon.
The blockade is lifted and Tom Parlin is triumphantly re-elected president.
150 tractors drove through the town as the first of the so-called tractorcade got underway.
We're trying to avoid as much disruption as we can, but while at the same time that everybody know that we're out on the road for one reason, and that is our income.
This was the second last day of their demonstration. The tractors moved. One of the biggest convoys was near Naas. The 300 tractors travelling into the capital tomorrow are being kept overnight at 6 staging posts outside Dublin. They passed through all the main thoroughfares into the city with Garda escorts, which kept disruption to a minimum. There was a strong Garda presence in Merrion Square, which is near Leinster House and government buildings, and security was tightened on state buildings in the vicinity.
I'm saying to the government, it's time for action. It's time to put your cards on the table.
IFA decided to send a mission to Brazil to establish the real facts with regard to what's happening in the beef industry in Brazil. We believe that there's not the same standards applied as there is here in Europe.
The IFA is demanding the release of an EU veterinary report on Brazilian beef.
From the end of January, beef can only be imported from holdings in Brazil which meet European requirements.
They admit that there are problems with imports into Europe from Brazil, and they say that they're giving them until the end of the year to improve things.
From every parish in rural Ireland, they came to the capital. This is the biggest farmers' demonstration in Dublin for several years, and they're sending a loud message to the government.
We're trying to get our rights, really.
I want to be very clear to the Taoiseach and the Kenny. You must hold the line on the cap budget, which will be decided within the next 2 months. And if that means flying over to meet Angela Merkel, it has to be done.
We need to make sure that the foundation of Irish agriculture is solid.
They immediately filled trolleys with all the vegetables on promotion at 6 cents per packet and paid for the goods and distributed them free.
This is the second time in a fortnight that the farmers have placed a blockade outside the factories.
You have to remember that these are farm families whose income has been slashed over the last 12 months, and they simply want to see that the industry understands that, and when the price increases, as promised, we should share in that price increase.
Some progress has been made since Friday in relation to areas of beef specification which are at the heart of the beginning of this dispute.
It's tough negotiations, but a lot of progress made in a lot of areas, and farmers have had a tough battle over the last period of time. They hung in all week, we're hanging in now for a number of issues that are key to us.